Hey everyone, thanks for joining. I'm Joel Freeman with Team Infinite and Team Fly Green. It's 2025 and I am working with an open bag for the first time in almost a decade. So it's been a really exciting and fun process for me to get to use my imagination, try out some new things, and explore and work in some new discs. Can also be a little overwhelming, so I'm trying to pace myself appropriately. But as of now, I'm going to show you guys what I'm experimenting with, what I'm working with heading into the 2025 season. This is absolutely subject to change. I can almost promise you it will change, but it'll at least be interesting to see kind of where I come from and where I'm going. So as is tradition, let's kick it off with the putters. I'll be putting with the classic Judge. This is a putter this was the one that I used way before I even became a professional and loved it. I had the Judge on a little bit of a pedestal this whole time being away from it, and I couldn't help but wonder, is it going to live up to my expectations from the past after all these years? And so far, yes. It's a fantastic combination of exactly the feel that I want. It's very stiff. It's also got a little bit of tackiness to the surface. As far as flight characteristics, it's that perfect mix between reliability, but also goes nice and straight. So I think oftentimes for what I look for in a putter, it's either too overstable or not dependable. This is somehow both straight and dependable at the same time. Amazing disc, the Judge. This disc lasted from my bag from my time with Innova. It is a super beat up XT0, just for kind of trick putts or scramble shots, that kind of thing. Now on to two of the discs that I was most excited to work into the bag. First up, we've got a K1 Berg. You guys know all about the Berg. This is a disc where anytime I saw my fellow pros throwing it on a situation that really called for it, I felt like I was at a huge disadvantage. So this is a really unique disc and a special tool that I'm excited to learn. Shout out to Chandler Kramer. He gave me this K3 Berg, and it's just a little bit beat up, so I can do kind of some hyzer flips and some interesting different shot shapes. So this one's been fun to experiment with. Thank you, Chandler. Now back to another Judge. This is the Lucid Ice, and once again, I had this disc on a pedestal. Wasn't sure if it would live up to what I had in my mind of what it could do and how special this disc was, but it has. This is exactly what I want in a throwing putter. It is, again, that mix of dependable but still goes straight. For some reason, it's like a very classic, little bit of deep. It's a putter. It's a true putter, not like an approach disc like a zone or that kind of thing. And yet it performs better than I feel like it should with forehands or in wind. I don't know what's so special about the design of this disc, but somehow Dynamic Discs struck gold when they made this thing, and really excited to throw this thing. You're gonna see me using it for approach shots all year long.
All right, Joel, what's one of the more obscure brands that needs more recognition that you're excited about throwing this year?
Yeah, the one that comes to mind is Doomsday Discs. I've just barely dipped my toes in the water, but Doomsday is being real creative with their design, and I'm really interested in kind of seeing some of the things that they have to offer. Moving on to the approach discs and mid-ranges, first and foremost, we've got a classic soft Justice. This thing is more overstable than anything I've ever bagged as far as mid-ranges go. It's a little bit floppy and tacky, and so it's got that minimal ground play, super dependable, overstable. Looking forward to working that in as an approach disc. To complement that, just a slight tick down, is the classic Scott Withers Gator, super beef, perfect in the wind. I've got a Halo Gator 3. This is the 2023 Joel Freeman Signature Edition. This is just a perfect go-to overstable mid-range Gator slot. And then this one is my baby. For any of you who follow me closely, you know this disc. It's a little more understable, so I can actually hyzer flip this when I throw it hard. It's a Gator 3, but it flies almost more like a, I don't know, a Chariot or a Rock 3 or something. So this is like my cheater disc, super special to me. Love throwing that one. And then for some of the more like traditional flying mid-ranges, the Hex, you guys probably also know about this disc. It's been just on a huge rise the last, I don't know, year or two in the disc golf world. Really interested in continuing to experiment with forehanding this disc. Yeah, we'll see what the Hex holds in terms of a future in my bag. Got the S-Blend Chariot. Love this thing. It's just a dead straight, can handle a lot of power, so I can throw it as hard as I want. Love the Chariot. Speaking of which, this one is a beat up one, so I can kind of hyzer flip, a little more of getting in the woods and throwing controlled shots with this one. Also great for turnovers, of course. And then the Origin. This disc is so much fun. It feels like a dream in your hand. That's like one of my favorite parts about it, is the profile. Forehand, backhand, very understable. It makes me chuckle that the Hex and the Origin have the same flight numbers because they're not even close to the same flight. But the Origin, super fun, understable mid-range. One of my most highly recommended discs to brand new players.
All right, Joel, is there a gap in your bag these previous years that you're looking forward to being able to fill this year in a different way?
Yeah, two things come to mind. One is kind of that super slow, that Berg slot that I've been messing with. So I'm excited to work the Berg in and just keep experimenting with that. The other thing that comes to mind is 7 speeds. Somehow I've worked my way out of bagging anything between a 5 and a 9. So I'm definitely interested in experimenting a little bit in that range as well. All right, moving on to the fairway driver category. Something unique about how my bag has kind of shaken out over the last few years is I don't throw anything in between a 5 and a 9. I think the courses on the Pro Tour don't often demand that specific speed slot. And so I've just found that a 9 speed performs a little bit better in wind. I could just down tempo something, or I can just power up on a mid-range, really commit to that shot or whatever. So that is one of the big parts that I'm interested in kind of experimenting with. You know, some of those discs between 6, 7, 8. Those are kind of the numbers that are intriguing me a little bit in the process of building my new bag. That being said, the EXPX is, yeah, kind of like that very overstable T-Bird, or somewhere between a T-Bird and a Firebird. It's by Millennium, and it actually is not new as of this year to my bag, but I'm messing around with the EXPX. Then I have 4 Firebirds. Can't get away from them. They're such a great disc. So I've got from Big Germ himself, got the good old 11 times, super flat, super beefy. This one is nice and overstable. It started out more overstable than this one, but it's been in the bag for, golly, 5 years maybe. It's been a long time. This one's from Ian Burchett, so shout out to Ian for giving me this one. It's been the go-to for a long time. The Firebird is one of it's probably the most commonly thrown disc in my bag over my career, and so gotta have a few of them. Bodanza Classic, just champion Firebird, and flies a little straighter than those previous 2. And then this one will really fly significantly straighter. This one's really beat in. It's another champion Firebird, and I can do maybe some slight hyzer flips, but really just pushing shots with a dependable fade at the end, or not some nice long flex shots and that kind of thing. Love that green Firebird. Next up, we've got the Roman. This is an S-Blend, and yeah, similar to like a PD mold. It's just nice and straight, but also dependable. And I believe it's a 9-speed, 9 or 10. Then I've got the Savant. This thing is a beautiful disc. This run came out really good. This is my Joel Freeman signature run from last year, and man, the angles are forgiving, just super straight. I can just put it on a little bit of hyzer, it'll go straight forever. It's glidey, works good on forehands or backhands. Yeah, I love the Savant. It's just a wonderful disc. This thing is a beat up Thunderbird. It is so understable for a Thunderbird. Think almost more like a Sidewinder. And again, if any of you out there have been following me closely over the last several years, you already know this disc. It's been in my bag for 8 years maybe. Shout out to Gavin Rathbun, who gave me that one 7, 8 years ago or something like that. And then this one's brand new to the bag. This is an iBlend Sphinx, and it's kind of like a Roadrunner, just a super flippy, using it for rollers and that kind of thing. So loving the Sphinx.
Has there been a disc that has surprised you?
Yeah, the one that comes to mind is actually, I'm just about to talk about it a little bit, the Adder. I wasn't really sure what this disc was all about or if there was anything special about it. I had seen it around a little bit, but been loving throwing the Adder. Feels good, flies just how I want, and shout out to Westside. All right, we're gonna finish things off with the high-speed drivers. First up is gonna be the Halo Juggernaut. This thing has saved me a couple strokes over the last couple of years. It's not a disc that I use a ton, but when I do, I'm so glad I have it in the bag. Just unbelievably overstable distance driver. Now the downside of the Juggernaut is it doesn't go far. It is super dependable, but it doesn't go far. And so that's where the Adder comes in. This is a VIP Adder. It's that 13 speed 4 fade, which is an amazing combination. So it does go quite far, and yet it's still very dependable, which is just an amazing combination in a disc. And so I'm really excited to have the Adder in my bag. I've been really liking that one. This is probably my new favorite run of Emperor ever. So we've got a Halo C-Blend Emperor. This is kind of that go-to driver for me. A little overstable for me to be calling it a go-to, but it's just really trusty, goes far, reliable distance driver, forehands, backhands. Love this thing, and it's gonna have a long life in my bag, because it'll work all the way from overstable driver to hyzer flips in a few years or whatever. Speaking of which, the Halo Destroyer, you guys know, this is everyone's favorite run of Destroyer. So this is just trusty, kind of go-to slot as well. This is slightly straighter. You know, we're getting slightly straighter each disc. This is a, let's see, iBlend, S-Blend Emperor, and yeah, again, just straight, goes far, and a little bit of a dependable fade at the end. Can handle some wind, forehand, backhand, all that good stuff. And keeping with the Emperor theme, this one, I don't know what it is about the magic of this disc. The color scheme, I don't know. This is a Halo S-Blend Emperor, and for whatever reason, this run came out so straight and not like, it's like so, can be manipulated really well. I almost feel like I'm throwing a mid-range, but just at high speed. As you can tell, I'm speechless. I can't even put into words what this thing can do, but the angles, what I'm trying to say is the angles are so forgiving, and I can shape shots like crazy with this thing. It just goes where I tell it to do. A little bit of angle here, it holds it. A little bit of flat, it holds it. Hyzer, it holds it. Forehands, backhands. This is possibly my favorite distance driver right now. This is a bottom stamp Star Destroyer. It's just a little more understable than that. Carrying on the theme of these drivers, a little more understable. I can give it a little bit of hyzer, it'll pop up. Still dependable, but yeah, this is probably the max distance driver. This one I haven't thrown yet, but Robbie from the Infinite Warehouse tells me that it's a pretty understable run of Emperor, and so I'm hoping that this will be nice for hyzer flips, forehands, just kind of getting that next tick down in stability on a driver. Speaking of which, the Halo Pharaoh. If you guys haven't tried the Pharaoh out, I highly recommend it. Give it a try. It is, think of it like a slightly more overstable Shrike. Yeah, it's just a really good disc. Goes so far. Really fun to throw. A little more on the understable side of things for me, but man, I can crush this thing. A little bit of tailwind, man. This thing's, maybe this is possibly my max distance driver. And then last but not least, the old Champion Destroyer. This thing is 15 years old probably. Super beat up. It is so flippy. I don't use it often, but it's a fun disc to throw. So gotta love having just the unbelievably understable distance driver in the bag. And that is what I'm working with right now.
Joel, can you tell us a little bit more about the bag you're using and maybe some knickknacks or keepsakes that you have with you at all times?
Yeah, so right now I'm rocking the Ridge Roller R3. If you guys have never seen one of these or used one, I believe it to be the best disc carrying device on the market. Of course, shout out to Pound. Pound makes the best bags, but Ridge Roller makes the best carts. So loving using the R3. I've got shout out to the lady who gave me this. You know who you are. I don't remember specifically your name, apologies there, but this holds my chapstick and keeps me representing the state of Colorado. Love that thing, comes in handy. Backup towel, my main towel I keep up here. Got a couple backup buffs if my neck gets cold, whatever. This is to remind me of my buddy Nick, think of him. Got the old Trash Panda Mini, as well as the custom Joel Freeman logo Mini. Shout out to Hyzer Disc Racks, check them out. That guy made me those, and I think that about does it. I'm ready to hit the course.